All right, we'll start the meeting at 7:01. And do we have approval of the May meeting minutes?
I'll approve them.
All right, so Carol's making a motion to approve the May meeting minutes. Do we have a second?
I think that's to you.
You, because
I can't.
Laura
Oh,
wrote
because you're
them.
typing? I didn't think I could.
No, Laura wrote them. So
I
she should
wrote
be-
them.
Oh, you
Yeah.
wrote them? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye, all right. And let's see, correspondence and then a financial report.
Yeah. So there's no correspondence. Financial report, the deposits to the user fee account was $402.27. I think we got a check from City of Mars for some lost items, materials. The gift fund was $722.62. That's 2 months reimbursement from the Friends of the Library for a total of $1,124.89. We paid 2 batches of bills since the last meeting. The May 19th batch was $2,127.12 for books and periodicals, $157.50 to the gift fund, $1,015.51 for building maintenance costs, $25.42 for office supplies for a total of $2,310.04. And on June 2nd, we had a second batch for books and periodicals of $4,477.79, dues and memberships $350, building maintenance costs $1,145.50, janitorial supplies $149.90, users fees $64.94, and the Cultural Council grant, which is for the summer reading kickoff on the 26th, it's on the Common, was $500. That was a grant, so that's not out of our budget, for a total of $66.88.13. And that's, I guess I should just go into my report. Okay, so I updated where we are. June 1st, we reopened all areas for browsing. On June 4th, we returned some of the study tables and chairs and more public computers, and that no longer requires people to make reservations. There have been, actually, I wasn't there last week when it was super hot, but there definitely have been people sitting at the tables this week, people coming in and studying and using the tables. So the study room itself is available on a first come, first served basis, and the conference room is able to be reserved by the public. I haven't updated the website with the conference room registration stuff, but I'll get to that next week. I was waiting for Cecily to get back from vacation because she manages it. It's the next step is looking at, what we're starting to restore more services to normal. So the first thing I'm proposing is starting in July that we open at 10 o'clock each day instead of 11. So that is something I'd like you guys to approve. So our hours would be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 10 to 6, Wednesday, 10 to 8, and Fridays, 10 to 3. We're closed Saturdays in the summer.
Okay.
I don't know if you need to vote on changing the hours. I don't know if that is a
Any
recommendation.
motion or?
Okay.
Did you want to make a motion, Carol?
Yeah. Yes. I'll make a motion to approve the
Expanded
new
hours.
expanded hours.
All right, and I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
So as far as adding evening hours, right now there's, Wednesday nights between 6 and 8, we've had 8 or 9 people the last couple of weeks. It really hasn't, I don't think we've warranted opening a second night. I think we can look at, if it does pick up as we move through June and July, we could add the second night, which would be Monday nights in August, or we can wait till after Labor Day. The real thing we need to just determine, not necessarily today, but talk about so we can make a plan is what are our hours going to be when things are normal. We have to be open 50 hours a week. That's to meet the state requirement. We probably can afford in the budget 52. We can't afford the 54 that we were open before. So we could either just go back to be open 10 to 8, Monday through Thursday, and 10 to 3 Friday, Saturday. That's exactly 50 hours. Or if we don't think the nights, I don't know how, most of our night attendance is people booking the meeting rooms for things. That's kind of traditionally, pre-COVID, that was the use of the room. So and that was why people were in the building at night. So I don't know if things are going to pick up on that respect or if it's going to be some time before that happens. So would it be better for us, the question is, would it be better for us to open earlier, open at 9 in the morning and still stay closed 2 nights at 6 and be open 2 nights till 8? Or would it be better to just go back to what people are used to in pre-COVID times and just knock off the 2 hours on Fridays and Saturdays. And this is the staff is all over the place. Some staff don't want to come in at 9, some do. I think they most agree that we might not need 4 nights to begin with. We could do a community survey. We could ask the public.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like we just did.
Yeah. What did,
Well, we did, right. When we did the long range plan, we did a community survey of hours.
Yes.
But that was before we had to make we are cutting from what we used to be before. We were open 54 hours to the public before. I don't have a problem going back to the 4 nights if you guys think that's a better plan. I'm just trying to make it the best use of the hours. It would be nice if we did the 9 o'clock, then it would open every day at 9, close 2 nights at 6, close 2 nights at 8, Friday, Saturday, close at 3, and then would open every day at 9. It would be the same time every day. I tried to see if 9:30 would work, and it doesn't because then we're short half an hour one day. So it's really hard to figure out what the easiest way to do it is. I just want to know if you guys had any real opinions on it.
I don't know. My opinion is I think nights are easier for a lot of people to get there because
Okay.
I know I can't get, 9 o'clock in the morning if you're working, you can't. But then there's the people who are home with kids and want to come in
Right.
with them. And
I was just thinking for summer hours,
Mhm.
people with younger kids are going to look for a cooler place where they can be inside for a little bit during those hotter morning hours than night.
And
But
this won't, I don't think we change these till the fall because that's when after the fall, after Labor Day, we have to go back to being open the required hours to meet the state requirement. The state is still waiving what we have to do over the summer. So over the summer, they're giving the libraries time to figure out what their longer term plan is.
then I agree. During the
School year.
regular schedule, non-summer schedule, I think
That
for
helps.
people who are working maybe a regular 9 to 5 or something along those lines, that night hours are more important.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm biased too, because I'm in the same thing. I appreciate those evening hours, but again, I'm very biased. So.
It would be going back to what we were doing before, except for the Friday and Saturdays. Instead of closing at 5, we close at 3. So it would be what people are somewhat used to. So I'm fine with that if that's what you guys recommend.
what
Okay.
about, did you have the childcare on Fridays though? Like,
Yeah. So the after school program will still happen on Fridays after school. 2 staff members will just stay till 5. The library will close for public services at 3, but we will stay. The community room will be open. All the kids will be going into the community room. And we're talking about just doing like Friday movies. So we'll have a movie between 3 and 5 o'clock, and then all the kids will be in the community room as a group for anyone who's there, and then their parents pick them up as time goes on. So we're not going to cancel the after school program, but the library won't be open at those hours. And most of the parents, literally, they don't get out of their cars. They drive up and their kids, the kids come out to meet.
right, because the kids are older. It's not like
Right,
they're,
yeah, right.
so.
It's not like, I don't think the parents are coming in really to use library services
Nope.
when they're picking their kids up. And it is just one day of the week. The other 3-4 days, they could come in and use library services when they pick up their kid,
Right. All right, sounds good.
Okay. So that I'll bring that back to the staff and we'll talk about that next time. The remaining things we need to restore, the community room, which because the original plan was that the state was going to open on August 1st, I made plans for the community room. Right now, we got bags of clothing in there for the Friends clothing drive. And the Friends are doing a book sale the week of August 13th and 14th. So I think we're just going to wait till after Labor Day to start taking reservations for the community room. We can announce it in July or August that the calendar is open and people can start reserving them, but it's just too much stuff to move around and to get organized before the fall. So, and we haven't really I've had one condo group that has contacted me saying, hey, when are you gonna open the room? And I told her later in the summer, or early fall. So it's not like we're getting a demand for people for the rooms. If we get things more in order, we can open the children's program room for smaller groups that if they want to meet in this children's program room, so it would just be bigger meetings we wouldn't be able to host until after Labor Day. The children's play space, Steve and I are talking about when's the right time and like, what do we bring out there? Do we bring out just bigger things that kids can't put in their mouths? He doesn't know any libraries right now that are doing shared play space stuff, but there definitely are places that are open where everybody's touching everything, you know? So we've had people inquire about the play space, but we haven't had any real complaints. You know, people are, hey, is it open? We say no, they're not complaining about it. So I don't know how you guys feel about the play space.
I don't,
Can it just be made smaller? Can it just be like
I
a
was
few
thinking, right,
things?
I was thinking of putting out limited things that would be easier to keep clean, that you know, that we could easily monitor. And I don't know that we, you know, I think we might wait till there's more of a demand for that to happen. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that?
I mean, there's space for people to still sit and read a story.
Right. Yep.
And there's nothing prohibiting someone from bringing in, you know, toys to play with themselves.
Right,
I think
right.
if we have like hard surface toys that can just be thrown in a dishwasher,
Right, yeah.
but also
Right,
you
yeah,
need to notify people that
they're clean once a day. They're not clean,
Yeah.
you know, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, we bought 4 new iPads for the iPad kiosk in there because the ones in there were old and just not functioning right. And I think Steve said he's going to put just about 2 on opposite sides. And then as things get more normal, you can put the rest of them out. And that's, you know, that's a touch screen thing. I think we just have sanitizer there and ask parents to sanitize your kids' hands before they touch the screen, you know, and that's just good hygiene regardless of anything, you know? So,
do we have alcohol wipes? They can wipe down the screens themselves.
Can you put alcohol, whatever, one of those screen wipes? Can you put alcohol wipes on screens?
We
I don't know
have
if
been
you
at the
can-
high school. Yeah.
Really, they haven't? Yeah, okay. So these are in, I don't know if the screens themselves are, no, I don't think the screen, it sits in a case, but the screen itself is exposed. But we could, yeah, that's something we could just have out that they could wipe down before they start or when they finish or whatever. Yeah, that's what we have at the
I
adult
mean, at
station.
some point, that's too much of a responsibility to expect the library to sanitize if you're going to
Right.
open things up again.
Right, I
So
think,
people need to take that responsibility to,
right.
if
I
they're
think we can
concerned,
provide the supplies, but, you know, just have a sign saying, you know, we recommend you sanitize before you get started or something, whatever. Okay. And I don't know, they've got to be set up. So that's probably going to be time to get them set up and get them installed anyway, because they're just sitting in the boxes right now. They just came in. So, yeah, I think Steve and I will figure out what big thing, you know, can we bring out the train table, maybe the train table without a lot of things on it, you know, just put a few things that could be thrown into and we can sanitize stuff during the day because we have the spray sanitizer stuff. So we could tell people after they use it, put it aside. And then as, you know, I don't know.
how much staff, you know,
Yeah,
manpower is going to be devoted to sanitizing toys.
Right, yeah. I think a better thing is to encourage them to have their kids sanitize their hands before they start touching the stuff. Then there's less, you know, and that's just good for year round. Yeah. So and like I said, there's no pressure on us for people to do this. I think if Steve starts doing more in-person stuff, you know, they go to the in-person program, then the kids want to play it at the library afterwards. Anything he's doing over the summer is all outdoors. He's not doing anything in the building for any programming. We did buy 2 10x10 pop-up tents. So him and Diane can do some outdoor stuff in the summer for either if it's too sunny or, you know, not really raining, but just kind of crummy weather if they want to protect themselves. So I bought 2 of those. Slowly I'm bringing areas back to normal. The team room now is all set. The history room has a lot of things that have been stored in it. So I have to that's my next thing is to clean out the history room, clean out the cafe, and just clean out the spaces to bring everything back to where it was when things were before pre-COVID. And the cafe right now, if people are coming in without masks anyway, I see no reason to tell them they can't eat or drink because, you know, they're in the adult area without a mask on anyway. So what difference does it make if they're eating or drinking? But we haven't, they said, I think Jane said someone was in yesterday eating and she asked, should she say something? And I said, no, just let them do what they want to do. We still have the signs in the children and teen room saying mask required. I had a discussion with the staff at the staff meeting today about where the staff already has optional and staff only areas about wearing masks. Right now we're asking everyone to wear them when they're walking around the building in public spaces. What we talked about is when Bellingham is negligent, the gray color that the state has for 3 weeks, that then a mask can be optional for staff in the, you know, when they're working the desk or when they're in the adult area. I don't know when to take them off the children's room. If kids can't be vaccinated, do we keep the mask, you know, Like in schools, kids and staff still have to wear masks, you know? So I think we and I don't know what they're gonna do. I think we try to follow that protocol, because if the schools have summer school and they're still doing masks indoors, I think we should still do it. I don't know what they're gonna do in the fall, and that's what we're gonna do in the fall is probably gonna come down to what the recommendation is for schools, because it's gonna be the same group of kids doing the same thing after school. So the staff was pretty comfortable with making it optional. Staff could do what they want after, and it probably July 6th will be in the gray. So and starting in July, if they're comfortable at the desk without wearing a mask, that's fine. Okay, so our budget for this year. So what I sent you was the actuals and the projected things. Right now, it looks like we still have $3,500 or so that we haven't spent, but there's still other bills coming in. So we'll be in good shape. I am going to have Carol do bills next week and the final week, so we can keep up on, you know, it's always nice at the end of the year to have a updated balance. You have a question, Laura?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm just reading through. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's a couple of things that the Victory Heating still hasn't done the boiler repair. We don't need the heating system, but we'd like it, get it repaired. Jim checked in with them. He said they thought the part was in, but they had to check. If that doesn't come through, we're going to encumber that, which means we just tell the town we're going to pay it after the next fiscal year, because we set the money aside for it. That's $5,000. And then the shelving that we ordered back in March isn't supposed to come. It's supposed to ship in mid-July. So I will also encumber that if we have money in the budget to do that. So there's like $7,500 right now that I have taken out that is earmarked for something. So technically we have almost $10,000 still that we haven't, that I don't have a real earmark for, but we have bills coming in. There'll be book bills coming in, you know, gas and heating and some of those other things. So I'll just monitor this. I'm not that worried about it. I think we're in good shape as far as this year's budget goes. We do have, and I did verify actually the fund balances now. State aid, we have $39,597. The user fee, which is the fine account, has $1,651.44, and the gift fund has almost $4,000 in it. So we do have some flexibility to pay some of those other bills out of these other accounts if we run short at the end of the year. Next year's budget, when I looked at it, I was like, the number didn't match what we had requested, and I realized why. The town has added in they did settle the union contract for 1 year for the union staff. So the $3,215 was built into our budget. So the total this year is $566,780. They're getting a 2% raise on July 1st. It's just a 1 year extension of the contract. They haven't really settled the full contract. So it's a 1 year extension that's just giving them a 2% raise. So that budget will start on July 1. I already talked about the air conditioning system is working great. You know, it's a lot quieter. The machine itself is a lot quieter when you walk in the library outside. It doesn't sound like a hurricane. I mean, not a hurricane, a tornado coming through. It's pretty quiet. So that's nice. The air conditioning, it's working fine. So everything is really good with that. The next thing is a vote is on the late fee policy. And since the last meeting, when I looked at the timing of this, I think we should wait till September 1st till we have our regular hours to enact the updated late fee policy. There's still too many little things going on with things being returned, and we don't have the shelving in for the open. We don't have the open checkout. So what we're going to do once we get the shelving is, right now we're checking items out to people and they just take them on the cart and go. That's great if you're not charging fines, but if you are charging late fees, and someone comes and picks it up 4 days after, they only have a week, you know, their time is shortened, and then they're getting fines. So we'll just wait until we have the shelving in and installed to start charging people the late fees again. But the new late fee policy is there. It was basically what we discussed last time, reducing some of the fines to 10 cents a day, a 5-day grace period, and the fee-free Fridays. So I think we need a motion to approve the second reading, as well as changing the date to September 1st.
I can make a motion to approve the second reading of the late fee policy and changing the date effective September 1st, 2021.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The professional staff contracts are done. They're in the trustee box. Those need to be signed in person. So there's myself, Amanda, Steve, and Cecily. Our contracts are ready for your signature. It would be great if you could get in before the end of next week so I could get them to town hall so they have time to process them before the, for the new fiscal year. So I'll send Sue an email and make sure she knows too, or I can bring it to her if necessary to get her signature on them. And that the statistic, though, traffic is definitely picking up. We're doing, I mean, the number of people in the building is increasing every day. I did this morning, it's averaging, right now we're averaging 14 people an hour when we're open. Last month it was 10, the month before that it was like 6. So it's starting, the attendance is, people are starting to come back, which is good. You can just see, you can just feel that there's more people around. The circulation in May was only up a little. Actually, March was our highest circulation date since we reopened. Then this May was the second highest. So, and we probably should get a lot in July with summer reading coming up. People will start checking out those things too. So it's slowly picking up. It's not fast, but it's, it's getting there. I'd say it's a third of the attendance and 25% of the circulation. So that is all I have. The trustee vacancy, I did talk to Sue. We had a woman come in yesterday that asked for an application, so I gave her the application with Sue's contact information. So probably she hasn't applied yet because she has to get the paperwork together. But I think that just has to wait until, so probably wait until next month's meeting before you make a recommendation, because you guys have to vote on the recommendation and then it goes to the Board of Selectmen. If the person even submits one. If she doesn't end up submitting it, I think we just go with 4, and then maybe in a few months we put out another, call to see if there's someone that wants to fill in.
All right, sounds good. And then do we have Director Performance Review update, Carol? Is that you?
Yeah, Sue and I met, and we were supposed to do the executive session tonight, but I think where she's not here, probably, she really needs to be part of the discussion. So it seems that time would allow us to do that with the July meeting coming so soon.
Yeah.
So we could probably do that executive session then, and then right after that, Sue and I could do the write-up and then still have time for the meeting with Bernadette.
Is it technically executive session, or it's just a public session that I'm not?
Okay.
It's still a public session.
It's a public session that you step out of.
It's a public session, but I will.
Okay.
I volunteered to step away that you guys can have the discussion. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sure.
I just don't want to get confused that it is not technically an executive session. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it can't be executive.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
The meeting's July
it'll
8th, so
still
it's
get
only
done
3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm just saying that we're tabling that discussion until July.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
July 8th, yes, is the next one.
Yeah, it's July 8th. Yeah.
Yep.
At that date, I will be in New York.
Okay.
So I can, if it's allowed, I can zoom in. Otherwise, I won't be able to be present.
It is. The extension was till the end of the year or something for these Zoom meetings. So
Okay. I missed that. I'm sorry.
the extension is for I think maybe November or later. So it's for a few months. So we can definitely continue doing these virtual for as long as you got until that happens. And
I was looking forward to being in person tonight.
I'm looking forward to seeing people.
I think what they're talking I'm still looking at getting that conferencing equipment so we can do the hybrid meeting. So if that's
We've been talking about that for a while, yeah.
Yeah, I have the town IT person looking at what we should buy, because I don't want to buy something that doesn't work, so.
We just bought, I don't know what it was, but I can get the information what we bought at the high school that we're using in our conference. I don't know if it's something you'd be interested in, but.
Well, I know there's one called an Owl, which a lot of libraries are buying. But a friend of mine is an IT director for the town of Lincoln, and he was talking about he sent me a link to what they bought for their selectmen. So I sent it all to Karen Jasinski for her to look at and make a recommendation for us to get something, because not just for these meetings, it'd be great. Steve can actually do a story time and have in-person kids and kids at home that can watch in, so there's a lot of potential for
Well,
this.
we talked about having it in the history room for people who are renting out the room to have virtual meetings.
We can do all kinds of, there's all kinds of things we can do with it. So we definitely need to get that. But what I think long-term the state is going to do, they're talking about still requiring a quorum in person, but other people can join in. So if you no, so Laura, if you're away for the summer, as long as two other people are there as a third person, you could. No, you need 3 people. If you have 5, you need 3. You need a quorum in person, and then other members can join in remotely. That's what I think. That's what they're looking at long term. So it doesn't exclude people who just can't make a meeting. You know.
A little off the subject, but when we do go through our future plans and larger expenditures, I know you just bought the pop-up tents, but we had talked about a courtyard area at other points, and it might be, if we do have room in the budget or can build up toward, it might be nice to have a covered outside area. You know, especially now kids are going to be using it for the whole summer. But
we had talked about the area outside the teen room was the space we were talking about. Jim's been cutting the lawn there a little bit better. We did have we had like a bee issue that we had to take care of because of like a bee's nest kind of, but just trying to get it to make, I think that's the most logical space, because the space outside the children's room is hilly. It's not flat. It's not level. I mean, my vision for that is really to have a patio, a patio. Oh, I actually went hiking last week when I was on vacation, and someplace in Acushnet, and it's like a nature preserve, and they actually have granite benches built into slabs of granite built into the hill that make like a stadium kind of thing we have that hill behind the library there that comes down from the high school. If you could build some seating into that the kids could be seated, it looked really cool. I'll share the picture with you guys, because it really was kind of.
It might be worth it just to if everyone's on board. I'm not, but just to reach out and see what kind of budget we would need to be considering.
And I think I don't know that you'd want it grass. I don't know. Do you want a grass thing? I've got kids sitting on the grass is actually better, but if you cover it, then the grass isn't going to grow because it'll be enclosed, covered.
You could do some sort of like pergola kind of thing where it's at least shaded. I mean, that wouldn't be rain protection, but
that's actually a pergola. That's not a bad idea, because that would look nice. We just bought these pop-up tents. They weren't expensive. They were 100 something.
Oh no, I think that's wonderful. I was just
temporary, and I think we can use those long term if we do like things on the common and other places in town. We have a pop-up tent to just
portable. That's good.
Yeah, something portable. But yeah, I would love to have I have a vision of a real patio outdoor space with like the wrought iron fencing around. I have this beautiful vision of what I want it to look like long term, but
sketch it out for us.
I don't think we have last time we looked at it, there was a Boy Scout that was interested in just patioing that part, and it would have been $20,000, which isn't a lot of money, really. It's not that, and that could be something we decide.
I have to say, just personal work. We had a patio put in, and the cost between pavers and stamped concrete, concrete was a third of the price of the pavers.
Right. Yeah. So so that's something we can look at, and that may be maybe it's a town meeting thing instead, saying, we're going to postpone doing something else because we need this outdoor space as a new priority because of, people wanting to be outdoors. I mean, every place, all the restaurants are having people wanting to be outdoors when they can. So we could talk about, I think this fall we were supposed to go to, and I think we still should, for the rhino shielding. That's what's on the agenda for the fall, but maybe we could get it done by next summer, so we have an outdoor space for next summer.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's good.
Bernadette, speaking of outdoors, is the free library that's outside, is that still maintained by the Scouts? I know the Scouts built it, right?
No, it's basically, I look at it once in a while to make sure it's not gross and moldy. It could be gross and moldy right now, but I go through it and clean it every once in a while and put new stuff in. And then, is it bad right now?
Yeah, the last time I went was probably a week or two ago. It was kind of like the books were getting moldy and there were like ants in there. And I just didn't know if the Scouts were supposed to.
No one is. We're maintaining it. So I'll have Jim take a look at it, take the stuff out of it, spray it down, and then we'll put some new stuff in it. And it's mostly people just taking stuff in and out. So I admit,
I'm probably the only one that uses it a lot.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it.
I like to use it. Yeah.
When I'm driving by and I notice that it looks kind of like scary, I go clean it out, but I haven't done it in a while. So I'll add that to Jim's list of things to do, like at least monthly, take a peek at it and take out things that are that need to come out. Because he's down there, he changes the marquee sign every day, every other day or whatever. So while he's out there doing the lawn, he can maintain that.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, sounds good. So is that everything? Does anyone else have anything else?
I have one more thing, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's okay.
that's fine.
Do we, and we may already do this, do we have any, I know I should have planned how to speak first. Do we have any plans or anything that we do with story walks? Or I know that there are other organizations that do, and I just think
We've
I really like them. I
talked
think
about doing one on the SNET. And yeah, it's a matter of laminating large odd things. Because if you don't laminate them properly, they start looking really bad really fast, you know. Our laminator, we can only do 8.5 by 14, which is not that big. It's I think you really need at least 11 by 17, or
I
you
have one.
you have a.
I don't know the size. I'll
Yeah.
figure it out. And
The other thing
big
that you
school ones.
yeah, the other thing that you could do is, and I don't know what the individual one costs, but you know, when you staples, you can have made those like they're like the political sign size things. But I don't know if they would do books because their whole copyright thing is another. And I don't know how the people are doing them as far as copyright goes. I don't know if you buy a story walk kit. I really don't know how that works. So I can check with Steve on story walks because we've talked about doing one on the SNET more than once.
I mean, I was just thinking, because I like to be outside as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking that might be a nice kind of tie-in with an outdoor space and somehow sort of a fundraiser. Oh, just beginning ideas. Sorry.
So to have a day that you like an event where people the first time.
Well, no, I just like this. I don't know, maybe a donation jar going towards. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. No, but I think
nothing solid. There are ideas that I would like to see our library have, but.
So what's kind of interesting is the friends we met the other night, and their budget, they basically have expended most of their stuff supporting us the last year and a half with no fundraisers. So they're looking for. So we decided to just send an email to the Bellingham Business Association for sponsors for the Southwick Zoo Pass because it's $1,000. We asked for 5 companies for $200, and one day I got $800 just by asking. So, you know, you can't tap things too many times, but I think it can't hurt to ask. So if we came up with a story walk idea and we had a budget, we say, okay, we need X amount of money. You could get a sponsor to, you know, and I think if you actually spent the money to have them done well, you could put it up every year for different kids, you know, even the same story, because if they're young, there'd be a new group of kids to look at it. And if they're really young, they wouldn't remember they saw it the year before. So you could get.
Or they like to hear the same story.
Or they like to hear the same story,
anyway.
right? You know, so because I think the ones that look best are the ones that are really on those like political sign things that are really sturdy, and you know, you can do double-sided, so you can tell one side as they're walking tells half the story, and as they walk back, you see the rest, you know, the rest of the story.
I just Googled it, and you could also have poetry walks, story trails, story strolls.
I happen to have an in with 2 boys who are ready to do, well, just about ready to do their Eagle Scout project. So if this could tie into any of that, too, I mean, not that it has to be related, but. No,
that's because if it's I think if it was a permanent thing that we were going to use, well done, that we were going to use over and over again, I think it would probably qualify for a Scout project. You know, I don't think they look for things that are kind of transitory. I think they're looking for kind of
something that to improve the community.
Right.
Yeah, not just a one-shot deal.
Do they want to build a patio? No.
Yeah.
I need a little more.
Yeah. Well, that was so the scout that looked into it before, he was looking to raise the funds, and because we were saying you need a professional to build something that's that, you know, you can't hire. I mean, you could have kids working with the contractor to, you know, to kind of learn what they're doing, but and that was it was Dan Perkins. He ended up actually doing the sign, the new marquee that we did, and he worked with Josh Harris, who is Harris Landscaping or whatever his company name. He's at Bellingham. He was an Eagle Scout, and he worked with him to get that done when we realized he couldn't possibly raise $20,000 for a patio. But he raised like $5,000 or $6,000 for that sign because it's granite posts, and you know, it was not an inexpensive sign.
We were just looking for personally on our like future community needs, but
Right, yeah. Let me talk to Steve. Let me talk to Steve about the story walk to see what he has as for ideas, and then we'll get back to you.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they're totally. I'm trying to bring things together, but they're not, you know, hinging on each other.
And just so you guys know, and this is something I can talk to Dennis Frayne about. The senior center received a grant from Amazon to build an outdoor space, but they're not building it because lumber price has quadrupled. They're not building it right now because they can't. I think they got $15,000 from Amazon to build an outdoor space. So I can check with him to see if we can maybe get on next year's Amazon town donation list to do something, you know, from, because if they gave it this year, why to one town department, why wouldn't they do another one? But
Can we host their shipping facility? That's
right, exactly. Yeah. So that's something I'll talk to Dennis about, because I know they gave money to the senior center, but they're having trouble. They can't with what they originally budgeted, they can't buy the lumber right now because prices are crazy. So but that's another idea to try to get an outdoor space. Would be good. Anything else? We all set?
Leaving wait time. Okay. All right. 7:37. We'll close the meeting.
All right,
Have a
good
good night.
night.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.